Hello.
Hi, Krisha.
Hi, Frank.
Remember me?
I do. Remember me?
I do.
It's been a minute. Woo. Hi, welcome to the Krisha and Frank Show. I'm Krisha.
And I'm Frank, and it's March 22.
Monday.
And I'm wearing this summer shirt because it's the first day of spring, and you know how I am.
I do know how you are.
You know how I hate winter and fall.
You match our tablecloth.
I do?
Yeah.
Well, unintentionally.
And you're very complimentary.
Complimentary. Well, this is a shirt I got for my birthday, I think, last summer.
Yeah.
And I thought, I know I'm jumping the gun. I know it's not summer. I know we're 3 months away.
I love
summer.
it, though.
But my birthday starts the summer, and now we're starting the spring, so I'm kind of getting a little...
But isn't today your three-quarterth?
Today would be my
three-quarterth birthday.
My three-quarterth. So if we were counting my age...
A very merry on birthday three-quarterth to you. Hey, please find us at krishaandfrank.com. That's where you can find links to our merch. You may also find our Seymour Smokies content. That's got links to every audio that you could possibly find us on and our YouTube. And please subscribe to our YouTube.
That would help us a lot.
So much. We stalled out.
And sharing and telling your friends about us. You know, that's super valuable. We appreciate it.
And that keeps me coming back.
Yes, we do. We're on all the audio podcast apps, but I like the idea. I mean, I've been in radio my whole life.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with podcasting. I love podcasting. I listen to podcasts. But I just get this thrill about pretending that we're on TV on YouTube.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
We sit here like I pretend I'm Regis.
It's good. It's good. You're good. You're better than Regis.
Well.
You're my Regis.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kelly Lee. Kathy Lee.
I know I say this a lot.
Yes, Krisha.
I'm tired. I say it a lot.
Well, I mean, you've got good reason. You know, we pioneered the side hustle.
We did.
And, you know, all you kids think that you were the first to side hustle. No. Krisha and I were doing it a long time before you.
Get out of here.
And, we are hustling.
And nothing is a side hustle anymore.
No, it's all full-time.
I now have 2 full-time jobs. Yeah.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what we all want.
Yep. It's good stuff.
Wait, which is your other one?
Hatfield.
No, which is the one other than that? I know that
This one.
Oh, yes, right.
This.
I thought you might be.
This.
But then I thought,
I have 2 full-time jobs.
Because I'm not sure.
Along with parenting and existing in life, like remembering to go to the grocery store so I have food in my home.
Yeah, you have so much going on.
I do.
Well, Friday, we actually were talking, I guess it was on Thursday.
Yes.
And you called me up, and I knew from your voice. I didn't even have to... You didn't have to tell me because I had already figured it out.
Well, but you also knew that I had family stuff going on last week. A lot of family stuff going on last week. We had some illness. We had a death in the family.
Yeah.
And so all of that, which...
So somebody had to go to a funeral. You had to step up and do
I had to move back into my old house.
Back and forth.
Which was odd.
Yeah, you had to do school pickups.
Yeah, school pickups, school drop-offs, doctor's appointments. And then the fit hit the shan when my oldest got sick. Yeah, she got the COVID.
But she doesn't live in that house where you were. She lives in a different house, and you couldn't see her. Now you're quarantined away from her.
Right. Oh, let me tell you this child. This is how 16 and how wonderfully 16 she is. I sent her a text message and I said, hey, because she said that she wasn't feeling well and it felt like she'd lost her sense of smell. Oh. And I sent her a text message. She stayed home from school. I sent her a text. I said, I made your test appointment. It is at 2:30. This is where you have to go. Here's what you have to do. She texts back, as I'm on my way to work, having just dropped her brother off at school, on my way to work, she sends this text message back to me. Thank you, but maybe next time can you ask me first? She is so 16. She's so grown.
The pandemic does not apply to her.
And I sent her a text back. I said, thank you. I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond to my text message a second time. Your appointment is this and this. And she responded back, thank you, Mom. I appreciate you. I was like, yeah.
Well, because she's so 16, you didn't even see her in the days leading up to her getting exposed and all that stuff because she was doing her own thing, you know?
Well, and she's in band and school and this and that. And so I had not seen her Like, it'd been like 5 days.
Yeah.
And so all is well. All is fine. We got our vaccines on Friday.
Yes. Part 1, I guess. We're good. We're getting there. Which means we're like, I think it's like 80% effective.
Yeah. After 2 weeks, yeah.
That's fantastic.
But...
Well, the other thing is you've got this gig, this wonderful gig at Hatfield and McCoy, and you were training into so many different parts. Every time I look at the Instagram, it's like, oh, today I'm learning to be the stage manager. Today I'm learning to run lights and sound. Today I'm learning to be Ma McCoy. Today I'm learning to be something else. And all of these things are happening. And when I had spoken to you, you were just like, I guess it was on your way to the theater.
It was my very first show in front of an audience. So I had one rehearsal.
And they didn't necessarily, you didn't know that far in advance. They basically told you, oh, tomorrow you're on stage.
They told me as I was going to bed on Wednesday night.
You're performing tomorrow at 1.
At 1 p.m. on Thursday.
So that's just basically 12 to 14 hours notice, 15 hours notice.
Right.
Okay, that's fantastic.
And I'd had one rehearsal.
Which is your job. You're the swing ma. So you go in, you're always going to go in on either the scheduled day off of the other actors or on short notice because something's come up. So I was thinking about you, obviously, that morning, and I took a walk. I was doing my other side hustles, and when you called me, I said, "Krisha,
you were so great. You're like, I've already thought. I think this is what we should do for Friday." I'm like, I love you. Thank you.
I said, does your best friend need to help you out in this scenario?
Desperately.
Because now the other side of it is I think we've acknowledged multiple times on this show how we had a good time at Gatlinburg SkyLift Park, and that footage came out gloriously beautiful with our new camera. And it looked like we had everything really down pat. It's because basically...
We'd done it before.
We had done the show, and we kind of knew all the beats we wanted to hit, except we did it with my cell phone and a shotgun mic on a day when it was so windy and it started to snow.
It was crazy. But we had also talked about, we had leftover footage, and you and I have talked several times about what are we going to do with...
I was so badly wanted to use this joke where we're riding down the skylift and you smell... It's funny because the second time we went, you really smelled pizza.
Yes.
But the first time we went, you smelled this fried chicken. And I was trying to say, is it a sign of mental illness if you imagine smelling things? If you smell, like when you're hearing voices, you're seeing visions that aren't there, you're hearing voices that aren't there, wouldn't that also apply to smelling or tasting things that aren't there? But instead it came out as, is it a sign of mental illness if you smell things?
Yeah, so we
I'm like, I know what I meant. I know that I meant smell things that aren't there.
Yeah.
But you hear it on face value.
Oh gosh. But thank you. Thanks for bearing with us on Friday, and we hope you enjoyed it because we enjoyed it.
Well, the chicken stuff. Then the other side of it was I had all this chicken footage on and I had to get it off the iPad because frankly we're making so many shows, and the edits for Seymour Smokies are getting more and more complicated as I learn how to do it.
Right.
So I need the space. I've been deleting apps left and right. But we had gone to Crispy Crunchy Fried Chicken back in February.
When it snowed, right after it snowed.
And I had this footage of it, and I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
I have been craving that chicken ever since that day.
Well, we can go back.
I know, but I'm on a diet. But so Thursday was my very first show in front of an audience. I'd had one rehearsal. I was exceptionally nervous. I was so nervous, but I always get nervous for an audition, first show in, opening night, whatever.
When we would do improv together, it was unusual to me because I don't get nervous before an improv show because there's no script to memorize. Right. But you get...
I get...
You're about to go on stage and you get into it. You're like...
Oh, but I mean, I convinced myself that I don't know anything, that everything has fallen out of my brain, and actually Gail was surprised. She's like, I was not expecting you to be nervous.
Gail is the full-time Ma McCoy, whom you replace when she's off.
Yeah, and she was there on Thursday when I went in, as per the way it kind of works out.
Yeah, she's supposed to watch you and make sure you do it right.
Right.
Okay.
So I was so nervous, and opening moment comes, and I was like tummy rumbly. I was having to shake my hands out, and I kept going through things in my mind.
I've seen this.
Because
I've seen you do this.
Specifically in this show, there are places I have to be standing for things to happen. There is pyro in the show. There's fire.
Yeah, it's a very well blocked and choreographed show because of the stunts.
It's very specific.
And anytime you're in a show that involves stunts, whether it's a movie or a play,
yeah,
it is super... specific, because if you stand any closer to the firework,
You on fire.
yeah, you're going to be in trouble.
And there's actually one person who is on fire in the show on purpose. But I was so nervous, and I was like, okay, just step one foot in front of the other. You know how to do this. And my first moment on stage, I start singing, because that's how I enter. And as I'm singing, I realize my mic's not on. And we wear, mic packs.
Like these.
They're bigger, a little bigger, heavier.
Yeah, the metal ones probably. These are plastic.
Yeah, the wireless mics. And I've got it, and I'm like, my mic's not on. And I thought, okay, well, maybe sound hasn't switched over from my pack.
Yeah.
From the regular Ma to my pack. But then my next line, which is a little bit after.
That's something they would fix they would realize in the booth.
And they would hit the
Ma's
button.
mic is not on. Let's turn the right one on. But then your second line.
My second line, I'm like, my mic is not on. It must be the battery pack.
Because now the booth should have caught it by now. They're not going to leave you out there hanging.
And I look, and I am with the other actor, the sheriff actor, and his eyes are like this. He's like he's looking at me, and he's like,
he knows that you're not coming over the speakers.
And
also.
he knows it's my first show in. He knows that I don't leave the stage for the first 20 minutes of the show.
You're Ma McCoy. It's the lead role of the McCoy side. There's the Hatfields and there's the McCoys.
And I was so grateful, because this is in my life where I've been trained yes and
figure it out.
And just the way that,
or as you would say to me, figure the blank out.
Yeah, the way that my brain operates, I was no longer nervous. I knew what to do. The show, me worrying about lines,
there's no room for that in your brain.
My brain clicked and went, figure it out.
You're into figure it out mode, and you have to turn off stage fright worry mode. And that has to go into autopilot, which it did, thank goodness. And when I told Jerry about this, Jerry said, do you think they did that to her on purpose? I'm
no,
like, no, absolutely
I promise you, they did not do it on purpose. So I turned.
But it worked.
I deliver all of my lines as loudly as possible to the audience.
With no mic.
And we go into the fight scene, which I don't have a line for about it's a little bit longer, like 2 minutes maybe.
This shows how well you know the show.
And I realize in this moment, I'm like, fake fighting, and I'm holding my gun. I realize I can get off stage right now.
And no one's going to notice.
And no one's going to, I don't have a line, I've got time. So I turn, and as I turn, our technical director is holding a handheld mic, and he's coming toward me, and he hands it to me, and I just keep walking past him, and I pull up my dress, he pulls down my pants, because I wear these bloomers.
Yeah, we should explain, that's not the only things you're wearing.
No, my mic pack is tucked into my bloomer pants.
Okay.
And so I pull up my dress, he yanks down my pants, and I had on underpants.
Of course you do.
And he grabs the mic pack, he's putting the batteries in, he puts it back in my pants, he pulls my pants up, I pull my dress down, I situate everything, I set my big gun down, I've got my gun, I'm good.
Your little gun.
Yeah, my little gun.
How can you hold these props and a microphone at the same time? I can relate to this.
So batteries were dead. And then I turn and I realize it is almost time for my next line. And so the fight's starting to get over, and I just come running back on. And I had a blast from that moment forward, because
you're not worried about the show anymore.
Nope.
You had figured it the blank out.
Worst possible thing that could have happened the moment that I stepped on stage. And it's not the worst possible. I could have fallen in the pool or whatever.
Right, but it was when there's something about when a show is going well, you kind of have it in the back of your head that something is going to go wrong. I had this instance, I can relate to it. I did those symphony shows with the Knoxville Symphony.
Yeah.
And there was the one show that I was really excited about, because Artie's in the audience and everything. And God bless him, he had turned off my microphone when he came down to see me on stage before the start of the show.
Oh, no.
And I didn't know.
Oh, no.
He was playing with the switch. And so I give my first line, the mic's not on. I pause but I'm literally the first voice, so I just pause for a second. I look, your mind goes to, where does my voice comes from here? It goes to there, it goes to there, it goes to there. You look at the chain, and you see that the switch on the mic is off. So I flip it on. But from that point forward, I'm like, well, it's already gone wrong. It's already gone. I've already blown it. So then you don't worry about it, and that ended up being the show they used on the radio. They played the recording version of one of the 4 shows.
Yeah.
And that was the one that was so good. except for that glitch at the beginning. It was perfect.
But there is just something about, and I'm so grateful because I, especially in the last little bit, looking at any kind of trial as a gift, and what does this setback offer me in a gift? And I've tried to look at that, and it's such a great perspective because you're like, it's such a gift. It was such a wonderful theater, God's gift. So that was my first show in.
Well, you know what we should have done 5 minutes ago?
Talked about Steve's tree service.
But we were busy.
We were.
It was a good show.
Here's the thing. You got a new fence, and that would not exist. And it would be all sorts of weird if Steve's hadn't existed.
Yes. In fact, if you look at the show the other day, I guess it was maybe one day last week, where we're talking about the fence and stuff, I had some pictures and footage of Steve and his crew out there working, because I wanted to, at that point, show the old fence. And it was too late because it was gone in real life. So I'm searching my archives. Do I have any pictures? I went into Google Photos and put fence, and all these pictures came up of Steve and the crew from when they were here in October, doing a fine job taking down those trees. And I am so pleased with the way my yard looks now.
Yeah.
Because not only are the bad trees gone, but now I've got this clear view out the window. Anyway, so whatever is your issue, I was recommending Steve's Tree Service to multiple people recently, giving their number out and texting it to people, because some people who were here looking and doing estimates, they're looking at my yard going, that looks pretty good.
It was like, hey, it's Steve's Tree Service.
I'll send you Steve and Renee's number. And Steve texted me.
Yeah.
He said that when we talked about the tree climbers, I was joking that you could be a tree climber.
I would love it.
Because he said we were very accurate in our description of how they get up there with the little knives and saws and miniature chainsaws on their belts and climb up there. And it's a special breed, the tree climber, because not only do they have to tie off these branches and saw them, and then they get lowered down to the ground, but then when it comes time for the big action to happen, they go on a ride. They have to hang on to the top of that tree.
So happy.
And they go back and forth as the tree sways, because big pieces of it are coming off.
Which is why Steve's is license bonded and insured.
Yeah, good stuff. And they got their helmets on. They do all the things.
If you would like to use Steve's Tree Service or recommend them to someone else, you can find them on Facebook. They have been in business for decades, and they serve more than just Knoxville. They're all the surrounding counties. So check them out. It is the perfect time to get some work done. Call
Steve, call Renee, 865-257-6214, and tell them you heard about it from Krisha and Frank.
Yay!
I mean, they'll know.
They'll know.
You could still tell them.
What else? I'm like, what's my line?
Well, the other things we had.
We were talking about Jerry's birthday.
We were going to mention that we had Jerry's birthday. You saw it on the show. It was actually a week ago today.
Last week, yeah.
We celebrated it on the program, and I hadn't told her about the sweatshirt, this Krisha Frank sweatshirt that I'd hidden in the closet.
She looks great in it.
Between two other dark gray coats of mine, right? And so when it came time to spring it on her on her birthday, I open the closet door, and you hear the hangers, and they come out with it, and she looks at me and says, "Wait, you were serious? You really hid it in the closet?"
Yes, I really did.
Yes. So she puts it on, and she's so comfortable in it. And she's so happy. She's taking pictures, for Instagram, doing a thing, and she says it's so soft. And meanwhile, I guess, was it the fence crew was starting to arrive for work? So I keep looking out the door for their work. I keep looking out the door, knowing full well that my friend Krisha has been texting, blowing up my phone since the night before with plans. And so Jerry's like, when are the fence people getting here? I don't know. Let me check. I'll open the garage door and see. Because I got a text from you 5 minutes away. And
it was like 8:30.
Yeah. So I think I might have even left the door slightly ajar. But it's something, it's all carrying on.
You did, because I pull up, because like flowers, because she's the EP, man. She deserves to be celebrated.
A balloon, flowers, and
some cupcakes.
She loved them.
Were they?
So much.
Good, because she didn't like the pretzel. They're spicy.
Yeah, man, the cupcakes. What a home run on those.
Dude. But I pull up, I'm like, holy moly, because you didn't say, hey, the fence people are here, because they got here apparently right as I got here.
I was still looking for them.
And I'm like pulling up in the car. I'm like, ooh, well, this is perfect. It's like covered.
I couldn't have planned it better.
And I come walking up the driveway, and I see, and you're like standing in the door, and I just see like door open your head, and you skitter away. I was like, what are you doing?
I don't know.
You were just like, you just skitter away. So I come in, but what did you tell Jerry in here? Because she was so confused.
I didn't tell her anything.
Oh, I thought you said come here, like, 'cause she was like, what? I'm coming.
Oh, okay. I guess maybe I must have said that something to that effect.
Yeah.
Come look at this, because the fence truck is now in the front of the house also. But it didn't matter, because as she comes around the turn, you come walking in with the balloon and the flowers and the other things.
And she was like, what's happening? I love it.
And it was nice, because I had, it was a nice little manageable surprise.
Yes.
I mean, it might be worth another mention on another day, but or if you want, I can tell you now. But I have twice thrown surprise parties for Jerry.
Yeah?
One of them was extremely elaborate, and the other was medium. But I'll give you the version of it, because it's worth it.
It's our show. We can go as long as we
That's
want.
a good point. We can go over. What do you say? What are you supposed to say? Notify the affiliates?
Yeah, notify the affiliates. We're going long.
So we're living in Burbank, and one of Jerry's milestone birthdays is coming up. I think probably 30 probably 35 years, something like that. And she had been talking to one of her best friends from high school who lived in Texas, and said that Frank should throw me a surprise party for my birthday. This is like being announced in these communications. I don't think we had Facebook back then, but we had AOL or whatever we had.
AIM.
So the gauntlet has been thrown that I am to throw her a surprise party for her 35th birthday, and her friend from Texas says, well, then I'm flying in. So how do you possibly throw a surprise party for someone when their best friend from high school is flying in from Texas for it, and Jerry knows, and she obviously knows when the birthday is.
Right.
How do you do it?
I don't know, Frank.
You do it the night before. You do it, you change the date on her.
So smart.
So what happened?
What happened was...
I'm trying to avoid saying what... I said that too much. Here's the thing, and what happened was... I'm trying to cut back on those. So we all went out to dinner at this place in Burbank. I think it was the Castaway, which is a nice little fancy restaurant in Burbank. And meanwhile, I had rented the golf clubhouse at the City of Burbank public golf course, which is just down the hill from the Castaway. And all the friends are showing up at that. I've got a DJ, I've got microphones, we've got, cake and balloons, and all the neighbor friends and all the friends from St. Finbar are coming to that. And so Jerry, with her friend from high school, is in town. So I said, well, we need to go out to dinner with her before the night before your birthday. We'll have our friends Charlie and Anya go. Okay. So we all go out to this dinner. And Charlie, at the end of the dinner, says, well, we should get an after-dinner drink. I'm like, And he says, no, a friend of mine got a job as a bartender down at the golf clubhouse, and I know he pours heavy, and we'll get, or give us something. We should go. I'm like, all right. And Julia, the friend from Texas,
was like, yeah,
absolutely, let's go.
Now, did Julia know that the party was happening, or did you keep her in the dark as well?
That's a very good question.
We'll just assume she knew.
Yeah. So we go to all right, we get in the cars and we all go to this thing. Jerry had never been there before. So the fact that there were other cars parked around didn't make any difference. Right. The place is big enough that there's an outdoor patio. There's multiple rooms. So anyway, she goes in and boom, it's a surprise. Surprise! So she is surprised and the party is going on. And then after a little bit of while, after she said hello to everybody and people are playing with the balloons and putting them in their, making them pretend they have a big rear and big chest. And it's crazy pictures from we're wild people. Well, at one point I said, well, Jerry, I got the mic from the DJ. I said, I do have another surprise for you. I want you to
never close your eyes anymore.
So Tom Cruise there. So I've got my arm around her and to make sure she doesn't move. Yeah. And I say, I do have another surprise for you. I want you to listen very carefully. And a voice comes over the speakers, and it's like, hi, Jerry, it's Mom and Dad, and we want to say we love you very much. They live in 3,000 miles away in Virginia. Right. We love you very much, and we're so glad that we're able to be here for your birthday. She turns around, and I've flown in Mom and Dad.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the biggest surprise party. And Poor mother-in-law actually got injured her knee getting out of the plane in Burbank because they had squished into this stupid little planes, and she was in misery. But she was there anyway. She wouldn't miss that party.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, I had to arrange a place for them to stay during the afternoon because we got them at the airport, all the things.
Yeah, that's a lot of
work.
Of
moving parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was nice.
She deserves it.
And then she wanted another one. I mean, no. The year before we left Burbank, it was another milestone birthday for her, and 5 years later, I guess. And I was unemployed. I had been flying to Knoxville to interview for a job. Kind of knew that we were going to have to move. So I said to Jerry that we should go to soup night at St. Finbar, because it's Friday night during Lent. You can't have meat, but they have volunteer soup night. Well, that turned into a surprise party for Jerry because I'd made arrangements with the church.
That's awesome.
Hey, the big singer from the church, it's her birthday. Some guy who was that big cheese at Baskin Robbins, which is headquartered out there, had said, I'll get a cake. I'm like, an ice cream cake. I'm like, okay, that's nice. No, we have this new technology. Give me a picture of her. And they had just started doing the bit where you could print a person's picture on the cake, and he wanted to try it out.
She was one of the OGs.
Yeah, so we had this cake with her baby picture on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Everybody had a lovely time.
So if you're a man and you're 36 to 45, 46, 47, and you like throwing surprise parties, my phone number is 865-239-0399. It's actually the show's phone number.
But you still get the calls.
Then I'll get back to you. Never had a surprise party.
You never?
No? No.
I just remembered I did one for Jerry here in Knoxville as well.
But anyway, 865-239-0399.
I kind of combined the two one time. It was her birthday, and she was, something special. I took her out to dinner at Chesapeake's, and it's all printed, Happy Birthday, Jerry, on the menu. They do that for most people.
Yeah.
And then, but they gave us a table for four, and she's like, why do we need a table for four? Like, I don't know, I guess it's just easier.
Yeah.
It's a nice view. I got a good view of the room.
Yeah, we got room for bread.
Yeah, and room for Megan and Frank Jr., who had been riding the Megabus all day as a surprise.
Oh, Megabus. Remember when we had Megabus?
So they show up, and that was a surprise.
That's awesome.
And then we went to the Lenten dinner at church, and Megan has helped me set this up. So that whole thing turned into a birthday dinner for Jerry also.
Okay.
I know. That's a lot. I know. We should go. I get excited.
I know.
You know me. I'm a planner.
I do.
You can see. I'm an event planner.
If you would like to plan on hanging out with us, you can do so tomorrow. You can find us at KrishaandFrank.com. Also, if you would like listening to podcasts, audiobooks, all sorts of things, you can get Audible Trial, audibletrial.com/KrishaandFrank, 30-day free trial. You get to keep a download, and after 30 days, you can decide to keep it or not.
Clearly you like listening to things because you made it 28 minutes into this show.
Woo, good luck. Okay, tomorrow, 12-minute show. No.
Okay. Well, Friday was like a 12 or 14-minute show.
So we made up for it.
Now we've balanced it.
Okay, we should stop talking.
All right. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Break a leg.